Hi, everybody. Good morning. It's Monday morning. It's 32 degrees. It's super cold. Standing back here by the back porch. Back area. I got 105 views off that video yesterday of showing you the images on my face. 105 views. I've never had that many views on any video within that short period of time. I got thinking, what the heck happened? Did I really catch that many people's attention? But no one commented, though. Probably like, what the heck is going on with this guy? I don't know. Yeah, I probably need to. I usually like to trim my hair, or when it gets certain long, to try to tame it down. But I kind of want to find out more images. Oh, that little face right there. It's two eyes. I wonder what that's representing. You know, when I started looking again at that video, I can't remember. I think it's this side. I think it's a deer. Nostradamus, when it shows a new beginning with the golden age and everything, it shows a buck deer. The deer is also represented by the moon, the buck moon kind of like thing. My lips are getting chapped because of cold air. It's so interesting how that does that. I know I just changed topics, but from when you get out of, this is how my body works. I've known it for, everybody knows what their body works. Yeah, trim that guy. Is that going into spring, my lips would chap and I get allergies, right? Going into, and then a couple of weeks later, I'm good to go. And then going into from summer to fall or autumn, it does the same thing. Quite interesting. Oh, what's going on with my forehead? Let's see if we can zoom in. There's something going on there. Oh, so interesting. It looks like a big 7. I wonder if I can see it better within a certain light or lighting. Because that's what it is these images. It's all about the lighting. Oh, there's another face right there. That's, you see these polka dots on my forehead? They look like tiger spots or something. It's just kind of weird. I mean, it's not like a breakout or anything on my head. They're just like these light orange colored polka dots on my head. Kind of like brown there, but they're kind of different. And then I also noticed, where was it? Was it on this side? I think it was on this side. Up here in my hair, in one of the videos, you can see a black cat. I think that's it right there. You can see the two eyes. It looks like a black cat. Hopefully you can see that. Kind of interesting. Anyway, just fascinated about that. And then, of course, I wanted to get on today and share a little bit with you because I was just like, wow, that was the first time ever that's happened. And what to think about it, I really don't know. But I know it has to do with the end times and new beginning. I also, I don't know for sure. My hair's all tweaked out because of bedhead. the last few, actually, it's been about a week and a half. Actually, it's been since the eclipse, October 14th. Um, I've been waking up right before midnight, about 11:45, 11:30, and I'll go to bed at like 8:30 or 9. And it's like I'm kind of tossing and turning, trying to get to sleep. And I'm thinking I'm sleeping. I think that's what it is, but I think I'm just in a theta state. I think that's the word I want to use. Um, and then I'll just wake up thinking, oh, it must be like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's only like 11:30 or 11:45, just before midnight. And then after midnight, um, about 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, my lamp starts flickering. It happens every night. So I got to thinking about that. I'm like, I wonder if I'm being woke up, if I'm being pushed up, in other words. It's like, get up, get up, get up. And I'm trying to think about what's about the midnight thing. I wonder if there's something about midnight that is the reason why I'm being woke up. But, when I do get up, I'm just myself. I'm still, looking at videos, doing my routine. But then I'm observant to things around me. I've noticed, because every once in a while I'll look out the kitchen window because it's a big window. I'll look out at the roadway and stuff in the apartment next door. And every once in a while, the apartment next door's light will start flickering too as well. You know how you just like daydream out the window? Because sometimes in the morning I'll watch the birds and I'll just daydream watching the sun go by and stuff. Just when I'm doing that at night, the lights will flicker. So I don't know if it's the energy off my body or not. But anyway, so let's do this again. Because there were so many cool images, and I wanted to know if they changed as well. Sorry, got the camera all jacked up. My hair's tweaking out right there. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm kind of vain. I know I am. I've always been kind of vain in a way. So, okay, here we go. So I'm going to start right here. Hopefully, it's not going to be too dark. So we'll start like this. And then I'll move it around. I don't know how well that's going to take because of the sun beaming through. Or how this side's going to look because of the sunlight. So let's go out here to where oh, there's a different direction. So let's stand up here and do this. So this is my left side. And then I don't know how this is going to view or look, but maybe I should do something like that. Lift my neck up, maybe. I can't see if I'm on my face. I hope I am. Oh, let's go out a little bit. Gooseneck. Oh, look at that. Look at that cat. See that cat? Oh, that is so cool. I think the reason why all these cats are all over my face is because, as I've mentioned before, um, my past life, I think my past life, I was Daniel in my past life. I think all these cats are representing the lion's den. But hey, I feel pretty cool. Feel pretty cool. No, I think I just feel excited that I have something to share and offer to people. Um, and I'm not channeling people in. I think they're just coming to me. Um, and I thought about that too last night. Um, because it was on October 19th, 2020, when I told you I was at God's feet and he's got brass feet and how I wanted to touch his brass feet. And I come close to touching his brass feet and I'm just like, oh, he's right behind me because I was sitting between his legs. I'm like, oh, he's right behind me. Oh, he can hear my thoughts. And that's when he picked me up and I was looking at, he was showing me or Archangel Gabriel had out all my notes, personal notes and stuff. And I got to thinking, because at the end of that, when he kissed me, um, it's like I lit up like this golden light. Remember, I told you I was so in awe, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to leave. This is so cool. I mean, the light was so intense and healing wise that it felt so good. I didn't want to leave his arms. I mean, it was so amazing. And then at the last thing then the last thing I heard him say was, I'll meet you on the second plane. And then everything just went away and I woke up, or everything just kind of went back to, when you close your eyes, the darkness. And I was laying on the couch. I'm just like, no, what? I didn't get that. Second plane. What second plane? And my ears ringing right now, really loud. It's kind of interesting too. I noticed that too when I mentioned the second plane. My right ear just starts ringing super loud. I think that's the first time I mentioned it. I've noticed it, but I'm going to mention it now because I think there's some type of connection with that second plane. And what I was seeing in my mind as well about the second plane is, the Egyptian walls where they have all this art, and it shows at the very top of the art, they show like a helicopter, a plane, a spaceship, and people loading. They're going up this aisle kind of like thing, and they're loading up onto these crafts. And that's what come into my mind. I was like, oh, the second plane. I wonder if they're the people that are leaving, because Nostradamus mentions, I can't remember where it was, but he was mentioning that um, the church will fall, and wars, and he talks about wars and stuff like that. And then he says, just in time, something about he's late, but just in time. And it's kind of interesting because in Alice in Wonderland, the rabbit goes, I'm late for a very important date. The rabbit is kind of like, Rabbi, Rabbi, rabbi. The T is ta in Greek, and it means sun tower. So if you look at the rabbit that's on the moon, and then you can actually see a rabbit designed on the moon. So the rabbit on the moon, so it's the rabbi sun tower. Now, I want to talk about that too. So you've got Jesus, and then you got the Jews, right? Israel. So it's really quite interesting how Israel is, because Israel, they wear these black hats and they have these big sideburns that come all the way down. And I got to thinking about that. I was like, I've never seen a depiction of Jesus with big sideburns or wearing a big black cap. You always see him with his long hair, kind of split down the middle, his long hair, right? And then like a lion's mane, that's pretty much why his long hair is. And our hair is actually considered fiber optics. So we've got our hair. And so I was looking at that and I'm just like, well, wait a minute. Jesus didn't even dress like them, nor act like them. And then it was back in 2020, I think it was, where they picked their Messiah. So they're picking their Messiah. Man is picking his Messiah instead of God. Now, God picked the Messiah, and he picked Jesus. Now, this is a difference between how I was saying how people are fighting for Israel. Well, when you look at America, you can see that it's totally corrupt at the top. Well, if you also notice that Israel is also corrupt. So when we think of these leaders that are corrupt in these places, and people go, oh, but it's for the Holy Land and the holy people. But who's controlling those people? Who's controlling their mindset? It's like in America, who is controlling them? The presidents, the Congress, those representatives, these corporations, what's right and what's wrong. And then I got to thinking about the Jews, right? I was like, who dresses like the Jews? The Amish. If you look at the Amish dress just like the Jews. And then when I was sitting here thinking about that, I'm just like, oh, it's like culture, right? If you look at the first part of culture, it's a cult. And then when you look at the 1% of the world, it's a cult, right? And when you look at a cult is like a horse. I think it's a male, a small male horse. But when I started looking, oh, interesting, right? The Amish use horses to buggy themselves around. So when I look at this and I'm like thinking these cults are cultures, right? Everybody's got their own culture, how they create their own God. You hear that a lot too. Because people, how when we look at God, God's almighty, he's huge, right? He's a giant. He can do anything. He's magical. He created everything. He can heal you. So he's big and giant, right? Well, man, I've noticed throughout my life, brings God down to their height, their image. And when they do that, it's like all of a sudden God can't do everything, because now they've created their own God who's the same size as them, and I don't know how to say that. Cultures, pretty much their own culture. I mean, you look today, you got the LGBT, they got their own trans culture. You got your own people that are in the church of the land, right? Remember, Jesus says, I'm the God of the sky, because remember, mother, she's the firmament, right? And then you got Lord Jesus, the God of the sky, so mother and son, and then father's down below the earth plane, because our foundation is our bones. The bones, our skeleton is father. So in my pet goat too, the Mr. Bones is conducting the whole thing. Kind of interesting. And when they talk about God's army, that's another interesting thing, because America just looks at our army as God's army. But then they're out bragging and killing innocent women and children and civilians and during war. And I think that's the most sickest thing ever, because if you got men going after war against another man team, or even mixed men and women they should be going after the military. They should be going military against military, not military against civilians that are unarmed and don't know what to do. It's kind of like saying you're cheating the game. You're not going after the enemy, you're going after their people, and you're slaughtering their people. So it's just like when they're saying that, again, I'm neutral. I'm not for Israel because I know they're corrupt right now. And I know the purpose of Israel because Israel's right now is inside of me. I have Israel. Israel is King David. Judaism, right? The umbrella. This is the difference about how people worship the land instead of looking at their mere reflection of the land in their body. Down the center of me is Lord Jesus, the dragon, Isa, I-S-A. So you got Israel, which is on the far right of me. That's King David. That's one seed, one stem rising up. And then in the middle of me is Isa. So you got Israel, I-S-R-A-E-L. So Israel is iron staff, radiant El. El is God's name, El Shaddai. Now, like Michael, El, it's got an E-L at the end of it. Gabriel's got an E-L. Raphael's got an E-L. Daniel has an E-L at the end of it. So they're all part of El, God. And then you got Daniel, who God is my judge. And of course, you got Gabriel, and they all have a thing about God and representing them. So, and then over here on my left side, so the third seed is Islam, iron staff, lamb, right? Which is mother. So I have, instead of, like I was mentioning, the church today, where Christianity is only Christianity. So they're only standing on one leg. Judaism, or the Jews, are only standing on one leg. Islam, standing on one leg. They don't have Christianity, they don't have Judaism. So when you look at the world today, everybody's so divided that they don't understand that they need, it's like when you look at an orchestra, right? You got the podium stand, right? It has 3 legs on the bottom to hold up the stand. So like when I'm standing here, think about a dragon. So I have one foot, I have my middle leg. The middle leg would be represented by my tail. So if I had a long tail coming out the backside of me, because we all have tails, our tails have just been cut off like they do dogs, right? They clip the back of their tail off. And, they should never do that because, we are programmed to do that. I mean, our bodies are designed for that. But those tails on the animals and stuff are to keep them in kind of a balance. And it helps shoo away the flies and insects that are on them. But anyway, that's another story. So we need the 3 legs to hold up the table, the temple table. So that's quite interesting, because when you look at iPad Go 2 in the classroom, this podium stand is right there as well. And then it shows Obama with these giggling and stuff, and he's got the graduation cap on. So when we think about the podium stand, it's each one of us, right? We got to plant the 3 seeds within our body to go up to reach the God. And here you have the church of the land who make idols and images of Jesus and God, and they bow down. And in Scripture, it says, don't bow down to any man or any statues or anything like that, right? So people are bowing down to statues of Jesus, all bloody and stuff, and bowing down into churches, praying on walls, putting their hands on walls. Remember, Trump was doing all this kind of stuff. Or like I was saying about the rituals, where they're sitting there in church, even saying they're drinking the blood of Christ and they're eating his flesh. Those are still rituals. In this world, we know words are spells. Spelling, right? It's the most obvious thing. What we create is done by our actions, our words, our learning, our knowledge, right? It's like we're opening up doors by doing it. And perhaps that's what is happening or being portrayed on my body, is that I'm opening up doors. Either that, or when God touched me on October 19, 2020, and that golden light went to me, I wonder if it was like some way of bringing in perhaps my ancient family. I don't know, but I think it's kind of interesting though. Okay, I've been talking a lot. Have a great day, everybody.